What up? What up? What's up? Listen, is what woke looks like, and it's Yolanda Hops, otherwise known as Yo the Spiritualist. It is now time for episode 7 of this wonderful podcast, if I do say so myself. We have a treat for you all this evening. None other than the amazing Rashaan Bolden is going to be coming to talk to us about an ancient science that many of us may or may not be familiar with. So I'm excited about this conversation. I can't wait for you guys to hear about it. But before we do, we're going to have a word from our sponsor. Stay tuned.
Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution.
And we're back. I told you that we had a special guest this evening, but I haven't told you about this special guest. I haven't told you enough about him so that you could really get an idea of who he is and all that he brings to the table. Now, before I get into that, I must just give a little secret. This gentleman happens to be my better half's best friend. That's the first thing I want to share. But aside from that, and above and beyond that, Rashaan Bolden is a husband. He's a father to his lovely wife, Shirley, and his son, Michael. He's a son, a brother, and an uncle. Rashaan is a caretaker in facets of family, from working with at-risk youth to children with autism. He has a breadth of knowledge. But most of all, he's a caretaker to the environment by using a Vedic science called Agnihotra. Agnihotra. And I got to get that right. Agnihotra. I always want to say agri because it involves the environment and agriculture, but it's actually Agnihotra. So let's bring Rashaan to the stage, and he's going to tell us a little more about it. Welcome in, brother.
How you doing?
I am well. How are you?
I'm great. Yeah, you said agriculture, but it's okay because, like you said, it also helps with the agriculture, you know, and the
It,
environment. So it's I've heard it says been said so many different ways throughout my years. So that's not that's closer to what I've heard than anything else.
okay. Because it's crazy, and I don't think I shared this with you when we talked the other night. So I've been rehearsing it over and over again in my mind. I've been like, I've got to say this word right. And I kept saying Agnihotra, Agnihotra, Agnihotra. And then I still ended up saying Agrihotra because I keep thinking about the agricultural aspects associated with it.
Yeah, and that's one thing about it is because um outside of actually learning about agniculture, one of
Mm-hmm.
the first things that I learned that it helped with was I'm messing it up now. Was agriculture. So in South America, Central America, they would do this particular science, agniculture and homotherapy, and it would help them save their export crops so that they're existing off of the farming and what they produce and what they export. And if a crop has bacteria or something, uh like maybe a pest issue that's affecting the yield, they were needing something to like stop it and eradicate it, and this science of agriculture would help with that.
Okay, I think Rashaan is. Are you with us? Okay, are you with us? Can you hear
Yes.
me? Okay, cool. You
Okay.
froze up for a minute there, but you're back. That's okay. Go right ahead.
Yes. With doing the science, because it helps purify the atmosphere when you're doing the sunrise or sunset, and then there's different smaller fires that you do that are called homo fires,
Hmm.
that you do a mantra, because there's the mantra, then there's rice, then there's ghee, then the copper pyramid, which is a conductor. It sends the energy up into the atmosphere a mile, and then it spreads out for a mile radius. So you're talking about a mile radius that you're purifying this area. And if you have any kind of plants, what it does is it strengthens those plants or those crops, or anything that has a biosphere. It's helping strengthen the cells and
Okay.
eradicating free radicals and bacteria or things of that nature, because certain villages, people use dung to line the walls,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the rules of the hut, to keep out evil spirits. And like we were talking about before, that's a bacteria, that's something you don't want. It may be a particular pest that doesn't like the odor, or, and when we say odor, they may not like the smell of what it gives off to be in that space. So it changes the frequency in that pest, or that energy doesn't want to be in that area. So it alleviates that issue.
Okay.
And that was one of the main things that got me into wanting to practice it, because you start caring about the environment when you become aware of, like, okay, recycling,
Mm-hmm.
you know composting, which is another thing, learning out of just like learning how to do this science, like caring about composting and not just wasting. Like, if you
Right.
have food waste, you can transform that into something else to help your soil,
Right.
which Agnihotra helps as well with. When you do the practice for sunrise and sunset, there's the ash that's left from the cow dung in the copper pyramid. You can take that ash out and you can save it, but you can also mix it in with your soil. So for the gardeners and farmers, even if you have house plants, we talking about to the simplest things. These things help. The ash helps with creating better root systems, purifying the soil, um, just with better growth
Mm-hmm.
and better yield with
Mm-hmm.
using the ash.
Okay. 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 So this is very, very intertwined with agriculture, which
Yeah,
is
yeah, because at the and I was just researching some stuff to discuss some things tonight. And one of the reasons why this science was shared was so that the I want to say common people, but the people in general, the populace,
Mhm.
the masses,
Mhm.
could remember to do something about pollution. And so these fires, or they're called yanyas, would
Mhm.
be done daily to help with cutting down pollution, because we put so much stuff out there, between
Right.
all of the products that we make globally,
Yes.
whether stateside or internationally, all of the things that we produce. And these things cause and can cause and have caused environmental issues. But what are we doing to uh, put that energy back, or sustain the natural state without harm? What fills in those gaps from you taking away that fresh air in that area, or uh, certain rivers or streams being polluted? And when you have a science like this that can be done in that area, If
Mm-hmm.
you're, if you're a mile from a river and you're doing this fire, it's helping with keeping uh, that river, that lake, or that stream. It's helping keeping that balance with that stream just by doing that fire there every day.
Right. Okay. Got you. Okay. And that makes sense. So before we get too deep into it, because I want to make sure that everyone who is listening in this evening, I want to make sure that they know exactly what it is that we're talking about. So I'm going to bring that definition back up really quickly so that we can see it. And a question that I had, because this simply states that Agnihotra, see, I keep doing it. Agnihotra is a healing fire from the ancient science of, and make sure I'm pronouncing this right, Ayurveda.
Ayurveda, yes.
Ayurveda.
Mm-hmm.
And you've talked about it's the process of purifying the atmosphere through a specially prepared fire that's performed at sunrise and sunset daily. So tell us, what is Ayurveda? What is that?
Well, Ayurveda is, to my understanding, is just Vedic sciences that teach about uh, healing through different sciences. That's the best, simplest way that I can say it.
Okay.
And there may be more to that, but for us, to just give you a basic understanding, that Ayurvedic is um, using natural things, herbal uh, herbs, just your natural things to help heal the body
Okay.
without it being like overly processed,
Hmm.
or to that extent, to help bring you back to wholeness.
Okay. Okay. Got you. Got you. So, so in talking about the process for this, it's sunrise and sunset. That is when you practice this ritual,
All right,
and this
those are
is
the
done
two circadian rhythms, like
right.
sunrise and sunset. So it just basically flows with the earth circadian rhythms, sunrise and sunset.
Yes. Okay. So that makes sense, because the same way humans have those rhythms, the earth has those rhythms as well. So what happens, I'm assuming, is that, do you, now I have to know this. Do you watch, like, for example, for the sunrise or for the sunset, or do you go ahead in advance and check to find out what time sunrise and sunset will be each day?
Yeah,
What's
I'm checking every day, because
Oh, okay.
let's I'll take it to like, even in the city, like
Mm-hmm.
we're in Savannah, but Savannah has so many parts, just like Atlanta. Like, you could be in
Yeah.
Atlanta, but you could also be in Latonia, Atlanta. You could be in Douglasville, Atlanta. You could you
Conyers,
you know you can
Bill.
be at different parts of Atlanta.
Yep, you
It
could.
could be at different parts of the area, so the time might be a minute here, 2 or 3 off. So
Okay.
it's a science where once you kind of want to try to get it as precise as you can. You
Okay.
know, grace be upon you if you don't get it to the second, but you want to try to, you try to get it as perfect as possible. But
Yeah.
we in
Yeah.
these bodies, so it is what it is.
It is.
Um, yeah, and you just find out, like, say, because sunset is getting earlier in the evening, so it may be about like 5:15, 18, or something of that nature. And in these times, when I'm talking about these times, this time of year, as we're approaching going into winter, um the time goes earlier and earlier, the sunset. So you
Yeah.
kind of want to like look out for it. There's different apps that you can look at, like, time and date, or there's even an Agnihotra app that you can look on. I think it's on
Oh,
iOS for both iPhone and Android users.
oh, really?
So yeah, like yeah, and that was something new to me within the last couple of years. Um, that they had that particular app for it that gives you the time, time and date, or you can use the naval system where
Okay.
and you can plug into your coordinates of where you're
Right.
at,
Right.
and
Right.
it'll give you the exact times and dates for where
Yeah.
you at in the world,
Yeah.
and you can have the time so you already know down to the second what time you
Yeah.
need to drop the rice, because it's just giving people an idea. Like there's cow dung, which is dried out cow dung, not wet dung.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
dried out. It
Mhm.
has a great smell. It doesn't smell like cow dung that's not dry. Although, depending on what you're using that cow dung for, even if it's raw, you can use it on, uh, plants. They make cow tea all the time, and I'm pretty sure, being, growing up in rural spaces, people know about cow dung tea. That's a whole
Mhm.
nother.
Okay, now I'm not familiar with cow dung tea. You're gonna have to school me on cow
Some
dung.
people have used cow dung tea. It just, you can put it on plants, or you know, it has a lot of vitamins, nutrients, because the cows process the grass that they eat. They
Right.
have like between four and I think four stomachs or more.
Okay.
So once they chew all of that up, it's extracting nothing but nutrients out of it. So you use that dung and you dry it out, and it's being burned in the copper pyramid. The pyramid is fire in the middle.
Okay.
You put the dung inside of the copper pyramid that they're showing there, and see where it shows the arrows where they're going up and then it coming back
Mhm.
down once
Mhm.
once the fire smolders out. And you do the mantra, like morning time is Suryaya Swaha, Suryaya Idam Namama, Prajapataye Swaha, Prajapataye Idam Namama. And so though that is basically the vibration of the sound of the sun rising.
Oh
And
wow.
you're in the circadian rhythm of that time period. And after you say that mantra, then that's it.
Okay. Okay.
You can sit, you can do whatever it is that you do, whatever you into after that, that's on you. Because it's
Okay.
about purifying your area to make space for whatever it is that you do.
Okay. Got you. Okay. That makes sense now. Yeah, because I'm looking here like at this little graph, and it's talking about how the solar energy is pouring in, but then the agriculture is pouring out into the atmosphere. So it's like it's all in tandem. It's
Yeah,
all
like it's
flowing.
all intertwined.
Yeah, it's intertwined. And then it radiates into the atmosphere, and the high energy like comes back. What is the general energy that yields for you personally? We know what it does in the atmosphere and the purpose that it serves, and we'll get into that shortly as well. But how does that affect your energy field personally?
So for me, it helps start my day, and give me the tone of what the day will be like, but being at a calm in a calmer space, like, because we all thinking about the next thing that we got to do after we get the coffee, after we get in the car, after we get off this exit. But when you have a practice that you can do, that's purifying that space so that you can allow for you know positive thoughts, but also calming yourself and putting yourself at a state of peace. That's what I'll say for myself. Like it's a state of peace, and reminding me to be mindful of myself first, and to think about what it is that I have to do and what energy I want to put out into the world when I go out into doing whatever it is that I may be doing.
Okay, I love that. I just love every bit of that. So it helps to enhance, your energy field as well as the energy field around you. And what is the radius for that? Because I think when we talked about it before, you said that this
It goes
practice,
it'll go up a mile up into the atmosphere that you're
right,
at, and
right,
and a mile wide.
okay, a mile high and a mile wide,
Right.
and it will cleanse and purify that particular radius.
Yes.
So
So
what we
and what you experience and what I have experienced
okay,
is like um in a neighborhood, let's say like your grass or maybe some bushes or a tree, and let's say that tree may be okay. It's not. When I say okay, it may not be growing as fast as it could grow, or it may be something. It may be something wrong with the tree.
mm-hmm.
But if you do that consistently, you'll see the tree start to get out of that state. It'll start to grow. It might produce more leaves.
Oh wow.
Um, more. It might be more animals that come that may eat a certain bug that's been plaguing that to eradicate that sickness that tree has had.
Okay. Okay.
Or the grass will start turning greener. It won't be as brown.
Right.
Um, it could, because it's enriching the soil. Even if, if you have the sprinkler system, that's fine. But
Uh-huh.
the fire being done and the smoke that emits out of it, because it's not like it just stays right there. Like it's a wafting kind of smoke that goes up
Right.
and
Right.
out, but
Mm-hmm.
it's going up and it's going out, and so it goes up into the atmosphere, but it's still all around, so it's affecting everything.
Oh wow. Wow. So let me ask you this. Is there a certain location that you have to be in order to perform this? I know you're at home, but are you normally like on your front porch, or are you in the sun room, or are you, what's your normal location? Do you switch in and out of different locations, or I'm just
Yeah, like from moving into the space that I'm in now, I
uh-huh.
mostly would do it outside, but then like once sometimes it has, like, we get these rainy seasons here in Savannah, so it's like
Yeah.
I don't want to leave the pyramid outside and it's getting rained on and there's water inside the pyramid and you got to all of that. So I kind of moved into the garage so that I wouldn't have to worry about the rain or the elements, or if it got cold, it's like, okay, yeah, I open my garage and it comes out.
Right.
And but ideally, if you have like your backyard, your front yard, wherever you feel comfortable at with doing it in an
Mm-hmm.
open space, if you don't want to do it in a room, of course don't do it in a room, because when I was a young man learning how to do this in my parents' space, and the whole room had to be painted because
Oh my God, are you serious?
it had to be painted over, because it's smoke.
It's smoke, and
It's smoke.
did
I
you
opened
switch
the
out?
window, of course, not like I was closed up in there and I just wanted to hot box my room. No, that wasn't the case. I opened the window, but it's smoke. It's gonna leave a wreck because of
Oh
the
my
the
God.
healing energy. It's
Yeah, yeah.
that soot goes into it, and that soot is like almost like melanin, but it's going into the atmosphere and
It's
it's
going into
healing.
the atmosphere,
It's
right?
having healing energy, so it's going to settle in on something,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and it's very pronounced when it settles on that paint.
When
That's
it
it.
settles on that paint.
So
Oh man, I could only imagine Mr. and Mrs. Bolden.
yes, you could imagine.
There is now,
Yeah.
I know your
So boy, ladies
had
and gentlemen, boys and
wonderful.
girls, don't do it on the carpet. Don't do it on the carpet. I got overzealous. I was,
Uh,
being in my practice one time, and
yeah, yeah.
instead of waiting for the ambers of everything to cool down, I transferred it into a bag that I had there. I put the ashes in a bag, but there was one piece that had not finished like cooling out, and it had an amber, and I burned the carpet. Let's not do that, folks. So if you want to do this, don't do it on the carpet, or do it on a carpet that you don't. You're not gonna be like, oh, I burned the carpet. But in your house carpet, no. A throw rug, yeah, maybe. Your carpet, please don't do it
Please
there.
don't do that. Don't try
Please
it.
don't do that there.
You know how we say, don't try this at home.
Don't try to say, oh, don't
Don't try
go
this at home.
freestyling like that. But
Yeah.
that was the learning process of it, like where you can. And I'm glad you asked that question because I had it in my mind to share that.
Yeah,
So I'm
okay.
glad that you did ask that
We on the
question
same
because
page.
yeah, like because those are things that you need to know, like if you want
Yeah,
to practice
if
this
you want to practice.
science,
Right.
because once you get into it and you see the benefits of it on a personal level, because I'm pretty sure one of the other slides it talked about rejuvenating the skin. Um, there was one time I was doing the actual. I had just finished doing it. My sister came in and was like, "Yo, your skin is so nice. Like, what you been doing?" And I had to attribute it to doing that on a regular basis because I had really got into it. I had went to a, a point of seeking for different things and this found me. It found me.
Okay. Okay. I got you. Okay. Yeah, because that's what we're gonna take a break in a second because we're almost at the midpoint of the segment. But when we come back, I definitely want to get into how you became an Agnihotra. See, I got it right that time, practitioner. But I think I kind of got stuck for a minute on Mr. and Mrs. Bolden walking into that burned carpet.
Oh
And
yeah. And
and
my young nephew, who was about 3 or 4 at the time, was like, "You can't do that. Don't do that." So yeah,
were you like, shh, you go out of here. You go to your room because
yeah, because he saw the burn hole, was like, "Yo,
you blowing
no
up the
sir."
spot. You blowing up the spot. Don't do that. That's insane. But that just goes to show you. And it's funny. I'll share this really quickly. When I was beginning my spiritual journey, and you know, sage is something that a lot of spiritualists or even just people who understand the benefits of sage and it clearing a space and clearing the energy in the space. And in the beginning I didn't realize how much ventilation I needed. And so now let me say this. At the time I began this journey, your bestie and I were living in a loft in Augusta, Georgia. And the ceilings, we had those super, because this is an old, like in the downtown area, this is an old, like maybe not warehouse, but it's giving that type of
Yeah.
layout or setup. And the ceilings super high, like 30-foot ceilings. So I'm thinking I'm good, right? And one day that sage started burning out of control. I don't know. And I think, and I'm just gonna keep it a buck. Corey and I had an argument. So I'm clearing the energy, right, in the room, even though I'm part of the problem. And so but you be like, I'm gonna burn this sage because I don't know who he think he talking to, and yada yada yada. And when I tell you that sage started burning and it burned out of control, and I had to run downstairs to open up the front door because we lived like 3 flights up. I had to run
Wow.
downstairs and I couldn't get the windows. The windows were super high. It was hard to get them open. I couldn't get them open. I was in a mess. So you do have to practice precaution. People, if you're considering practicing Agnihotra, please listen at these disclaimers that are being issued here today.
Yes. Practice with caution.
Practice with caution. Practice with caution. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to hear a word from the Soulful Chicago Book Fair that is hosted by the wonderful Asada Kirkland. We will be right back. Soulful Chicago Book Fair. And we're back, just like we never left. All right, let's get back into it. Now, so I have to assume that past the carpet burning, the great carpet burning of 2000, whatever year that was, you have leveled your game way up since that time. But I stuck a pin in what you said because you said, I was a young, budding, Agnihotra practitioner. Tell us a little bit about how this ancient science came to you and how you got to where you are today. What was your process?
So at the time, there's a brother who we hung out, a brother named Roland Nash. He had introduced me to the science, but beforehand it was like Hops and I, your love, we were trying to finish writing the book, and I was trying to come up with my parts because he was pretty much almost done, but I was still working on some of my parts. And so I would always be thinking, but thinking there comes movement. So there's no stillness so that you can receive. So, so
I clock that T. Okay.
Yes. So, he had been doing a lot of meditation and a lot of esoteric work and things of that nature.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And, heavy reader and things like that. And so
Right.
He shared with me, about doing meditation, but then he had come into doing Agnihotra because he saw somebody else, another brother up in Atlanta who was doing it. And so he got onto it. And then it's just like if he knew about something, he gonna share it with me,
Right.
And so he shared the science with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I had saw him doing it,
Mm-hmm.
and it was really helping with me being still. And so much to the point where it was just like I started looking it up once I got back home to Savannah. So I'm like scouring the internet and I'm putting in Agnihotra and I'm trying to find it. So then I'm trying to find it so that I can start doing it.
Right.
And I found a couple of websites, but then I found actually one website that I could actually order a whole kit from.
Okay.
And I do not do not try to ask me what the website was, because I do not. This was in 2005, 2006. So please
Wow.
blame the mind and not the heart.
Wow. That's been 20,
So
20 years.
yeah, yes.
Wow.
And so what ends up happening is I find this website and I order this pyramid, the whole like kit. It comes with like a copper cup so you can put your ghee in, tongs so that you can hold the dung, and a spoon to scoop the ghee, and just a whole copper kit. And it starts taking a little long, and I'm like trying to call around like, hey, like, you guys got my money. Where's my pyramid? And I had been emailing and hadn't gotten any response, and so I decided to call, and I ended up getting in contact with someone. Well, they were like, "Oh, we so sorry. We make sure we track your order and look and see where everything is, and we'll get back to you." So I want to say a couple of days later or so, I ended up getting a refund
Mhm.
on my account. Like, it's nothing like going to your account and seeing you got some money back.
Well, come on now.
So,
That's
but
a
I'm like, no,
that's
I
a
want
baby.
I want my but to me, I'm like, no, I want what I paid for. Now, why you giving my
Right.
money back?
Right.
So I get the money back, and I'm calling them asking like what's going on. They're like, oh, it's no problem. Couple of days later, I got a whole kit and my money back.
What?
So
Seriously? Okay. Perfect.
I got my money back, and I got my pyramid, and only thing I needed to do, I think I purchased some dung from at the time, and he also turned me on, like Brother Roland Nash told me on to a spot in Alabama called Shanti Villa, which I ended up living there. Also, we had a satellite that was in Atlanta called Shanti Villa Atlanta, and I think they have a satellite now that's out in Conyers now.
Okay.
That
Okay.
people go and they do a lot of the work that we did while we were out there in Alabama. And so, I get the dung, and then it's like I'm going to it. I'm doing it every day. I'm doing there's different fires that you can do throughout the day. And so it just was like, once I got into that practice of the consistency of doing it, it
Yeah.
was that was it. So, and I had a great I had a great experience the first time that I did it. Like,
Okay.
um I'll like to try to share it in a sense of like um if you can you pull up
Sure.
the picture of the Agnihotra pot that has a flame in it? Anyone that has a flame in it.
Yes, I got you right here. Hmm.
Okay, so yeah, that's a normal yanya.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
a nice normal yanya.
And now,
I didn't have a nice normal yanya the first time I did it.
okay, and say that word again.
Yanya. It's I
Okay.
believe this Yanja. Yanya. It's fire. It's just fire.
Okay. Okay. Yeah,
And
I like it.
once I mean, okay, you see how small that pyramid is?
Yeah, that's a really small pyramid.
Yeah,
Is
it's
that
real small, but can you imagine looking up at a fire
yes? Yes.
from that small pyramid, but looking up
Oh, well, probably not. No,
in your
because
house?
it's in your house. Oh, yeah.
Yes, looking up.
Okay. And so that's what you were using at that time. Something about
Yeah,
that.
it's just a regular, agniculture. I did it, and yeah, it was.
Okay. Okay.
But it was an experience, and
Yeah.
sometimes you have experiences. I'll say that, not to make it any kind of it's nothing spooky. It just was an experience that I had, and it was a nice experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
And after that experience, it was like, okay, yeah, this is something I'm going to be doing all the time.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I'm gonna share really quickly just to piggyback off of that. Naima Latif is asking, what would a nice, normal yanya be like?
Like that. Like that's nice and normal. Like some people like to have big fires. Like they may have they might put a lot of dung um in the pyramid, um and you're gonna have a big fire.
Mm-hmm.
But like that looks like it's maybe like two, three, four pieces that might be in there. It's gonna get about like yay high, and then it's gonna smolder down, and then you'll have a nice bit of ash that you can use. Like you can use it in your water for your plants, or you could put it in the soil of your plants, or it's great for like if you have like superficial cuts or even deep cuts. Sometimes you can put the ash on it and it'll heal it right up. So the ash has different healing properties too to the body as well.
Oh, so the ash from the fire can be used for other things.
Yes.
Oh, wow. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, you can use the ash like it. You save the ash, and you can, if you have like some water or bad water, you can put it in there, let it sit for 3 days, and you got clean drinking water. Sift it, and it's clean drinking water.
Oh, wow. That's really.
Yes.
I never would have guessed. That is amazing. Let's see. I think we have another comment. Linnea Ingram is saying that's dope, and it is. I couldn't have said it better myself. It is extremely dope. So my mind is blown right now because I'm just thinking to myself, how we all have had ashes from things, and we just trash them. We don't
Right.
use them. We don't utilize them unless we are doing some sort of ritual, right?
Right.
But let's just say on any given day, we're not using the ashes from, for those who smoke, I enjoy a good cigar from time to time, and I trash it, I don't even give it any thought. But of course, it's not a sacred practice for me to smoke a cigar. Well, but then again,
Right.
sometimes it is a sacred practice, depending on what kind of day I had.
Yeah.
Saying all of that to say, just hearing all of these miraculous uses for this practice is like blowing my mind. So you were at this commune over in Alabama, right? And that was from what year to what year? About how long were you there?
I want to say from about 2010 to 2015, I believe.
Okay,
So it was
2000.
like kind of 2009 going to 2010, because I
Okay,
was coming back and forth between Atlanta. I was living in Atlanta and going to Alabama, and then I moved to Alabama. So I want to say I left it in 2015.
okay, 2015. Okay, so about 5 years there, right? But you started this process in about 2005. We have a question from Corey Hobbs. Don't some people consume the ash? I think that's what you were saying
Yes,
earlier.
like you can put like I've got my little mason jar. You can put it in your water. You can drink it in your water. You can mix it up, drink it in your water. Um, I consume it like if I get any kind of cut or abrasion or anything like that, I'm putting ash on it first. So I'm like the old folks, like, oh, go get the ash.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm running to that first before I go put some antiseptic or something. I'm gonna use that first, and then if it's something severe, then okay, yeah, let me get this, and then okay, if it's bad, then yeah, I gotta go see somebody.
right, right. That's just like Linnea Ingram said. That's dope. So you also were in Alabama for a while, but you also took kind of a pilgrimage out of the country. Tell us a little bit about that. And I'm going to bring up that slide that has some more specific pictures related to maybe what you may have experienced there.
Okay, so the bigger picture on the far right is uh, from a festival called a Summer Yog. It's a really huge fire, but it's a lot of ritualistic fires. Those priests, they go months on months to preserve themselves, like it's certain energies and things or people and adult activities that they do not consume in, just so that they can be prepared to do the rites and rituals of this particular fire ritual. So that is what that is. It's called the summer yog. Like there's women who may not be able to bear children. They'll go to this particular festival in hopes of, like, being in the atmosphere, because they're doing these fires all day.
Okay.
So the atmosphere is very rich and very charged. So anything and everything is possible in this atmosphere. And there's a bigger fire. So like that pyramid that's there, there's another it's not even a pyramid shape. It's almost like a huge, I want to say like a sauna type barrel looking situation. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of ghee and there's a lot of fire, and the fires are very huge. I really wish I could find, because I may have it in another folder, a lot of the uh, fires that were done in that huge um, pit, uh, because it's a healing energy that's there in that environment. And so there's people walking around. There's people who are, with their prayer beads. There's food that's going. That was my plate. After I had gone and done some of the rituals that was there. Yeah, it was a really good time. But also, me being in India, that was from Mumbai, and the sisters there, they were showing people in the area, in the neighborhood, how to do Agnihotra and do the practice of people who, you know how to do it. Because you think, oh, it's India and everybody know how to do it. No, it's just like here. It's like, that's why I'm sharing the information now. It's like people who don't know about the science, like they share that science. And there's
Mm-hmm.
different doctors, and there's people from all over the world who come to that particular festival. But locally, it's like the people who are there, it's like a lot of women, and it's men, but um it's a very festival type area and type of event. So there's food, there's a lot of things. And I
Okay.
think that's the first time I ever took a I've that's the first time I ever had the police want to come and take a picture with me. So yeah,
That's because you was in another country. Because over
yeah. I'm just,
they wouldn't
because it's,
sound quite
I'm like,
like that. Yeah.
I'm like 6 feet. Like, to us being 6 foot black guy in America is like, that's normal.
It's
But
no.
over there,
Yeah.
yes, it's like, and I think sometimes they thought I was a cricket player, because cricket is big over there. So I
Yeah.
look like,
It's
and a lot of Caribbean brothers are
yeah.
over there playing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I may have been confused with being a cricket player. But other than that, it was a great experience. Also seeing a lot of people who look like me over there. So
Mm,
it let me know that, oh, we everywhere. Well, we've been everywhere. There's
yeah.
not a place that we aren't. So that opened up my worldview. And then seeing people like myself who look like me doing this science, and it just was a great spiritual journey, because it we had talked last night, and it's like, when you're looking for something and then it finds you, and you ride
Mm,
that wave, and I rode the wave all the way to India.
rode the wave all the way to India. And what year did you say that was again?
That was 2011. Like
Okay.
uh, I had just got a different job, and I was just working at the job, but I had to go on this trip, and so it was just like the money had lined up. Just it was like one of them things where it's just like
It's
boom, boom, boom. It happened
funny.
just like
It's
that.
the way it was supposed
And,
to.
I had a great trip, a great learning experience being there, and also it made me appreciate with all the things that we have going on in the country. It when I got back home, it made me appreciate home more.
Mm,
Just because abroad in a country such as India, where the infrastructure is a little bit different,
mm-hmm.
you see a lot of things that make you appreciate what it is that you do have.
Right, right.
Where
I
what the
imagine.
bed that you have,
Wow. Oh yeah, because I was
the
about to
structure for
say,
somebody to come and pick up your waste
yeah, because so where were you staying during that time when you were in India? What?
in Mumbai,
Okay, you were
in
in
Mumbai,
right, and
and so it also, the other side of it is not just like India is not just like this rundown place, because
no, it's
when you
not.
go across the bridge to
Mm-hmm.
downtown Mumbai, I'm thinking I'm in Miami.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
You
Yeah.
know,
Makes
it's
sense.
a lot of shopping. It's, all these streets is hustle and bustle, and it's all
Yeah.
those things. But then it's also
Yeah.
shanties in the water that people are riding their boats to go into the city
Yeah. It's a
or go to
bustling.
the market.
Yeah, it's a bustling metropolis, so to speak.
Being on the train, seeing animals on the train.
Right. And
Yes,
it's different. There are a lot of similarities, but then there are still a lot of differences too. And I think, to your point, that kind of reminds me of when people go to Africa, and there are people who believe that Africa is still very primitive. Everybody's like living off the lands, and they're in villages and yada yada yada, and their tribes are all. I'm like, okay, you hadn't heard of Accra, Ghana, you know, bustling
right,
metropolis. You know what I'm
right.
saying? So, but you get kind of the best of both worlds, I feel like, in those environments, and it is very eye opening. So you went on this pilgrimage, and you said 2011, right?
Yes.
So this is coming off the heels of you moving to Alabama. And how long were you in India?
For 2 weeks.
Okay, so you were there for 2 weeks. Oh
I was
wow.
there for 2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah. So that really gave you a chance to kind of immerse yourself in it. And so when you came back, do you feel like there was a shift in your perspective because you were already sold on Agnihotra?
Yeah, like certain things didn't affect me in a sense where it was like it may seem trivial, but like simple quarrels, or being
Yeah.
upset about certain things,
Mm-hmm.
or just being objective about certain things, because it was just like, okay, you can have a lot of people have things that's on their bucket list, but sometimes they never get done.
Mm,
And
true.
if yeah, like that was one of the things how you like, oh, it would be cool if I went there, and then it's like, okay, we're gonna see how cool it really is. And then like I was there, I caught the rickshaws. I tore up my little linen shirts that I had trying to catch them rickshaws.
Trying to catch them rickshaws, but you had
If
to
you,
catch a rickshaw.
yeah, like
You
that's
won't
the
go to
motorcycle
India.
taxis,
I
and
mean, you won't go to India.
to you rickshaw drivers, y'all need to stop when y'all see them Americans. Y'all be gouging the price.
Ooh, do they? Oh my
But
goodness.
it's rupees. It's rupees. So it's like a
Okay.
small. It's not a lot, but at the same time, it's like, okay, now you charge me 5 to get here. Now you trying to charge me 12 to get back.
Yeah,
Like, come on, my boy.
yeah, come on now. They busting
But
heads over there
you
on
know,
the but it still, the experience in and of itself sounds like it was priceless. And so, you know, we're talking about 20 years ago up until today. You are still dedicated to this particular process, this practice. It does not sound like you're gonna let your foot off the gas anytime soon. You're gonna continue,
No.
because you've seen the benefits associated with it, and here you are, of course, sharing it with the collective. What would you say to someone who was considering becoming an Agnihotra practitioner? Where would you tell them to start?
I would tell them to start. I would tell them to start with, choose one time that you think you can do consistently,
Mm-hmm.
and do it until you can get to the next time.
Okay.
If you were a morning person, do the morning Agnihotra
Okay.
and do it consistently,
Okay.
and you can see the benefits of what will happen once you do it consistently. You see because it's just like any kind of discipline. Once you do that discipline, you see the benefits from it. You see how you interact with people. For me, it just made it better for me because at that time I was working with working on two different units at a place called Laurel Heights in Atlanta, and I was working on the autistic unit.
Mm-hmm.
And it would sometimes, those days could be challenging.
Mm-hmm.
It's rewarding, but it would be challenging, and I needed something to like feel like I had this different energy when I walked into that space, and not feel like, oh gosh, I gotta do this again. Because you know when you're working with those individuals, it's a lot about repetition,
It is.
and and doing most people doing something over and over, can become monotonous. But this person and these said individuals, they need that until they understand, okay, I have to do this because it's going to benefit me in the long run.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that is one thing I can say, like just being able to start at one time and do it consistently
Okay.
is where you should start at. Like, one mantra at a time. And then the rest is like, the more you do it, the rest will come to you, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. I found this particular slide here that, talked about the benefits associated with it. It rejuvenates skin. Oh, that's why your sister was like, wait a minute, what's going on with your skin? Why is your skin popping?
Right.
Your skin was popping, and sis was like, wait a minute, what we doing? But it also releases stress, reduces headaches, calms the mind, renews brain cells, and purifies the blood.
And that's what I was experiencing, like when I was doing it, like releasing the stress. Because when you have tough clients, it can be stressful before you even get there.
It
And
can be.
then de-stressing, even if you have like a good day, you're still carrying that stuff. So it's like, for me, it would be like great shower. Then once that time is time to do evening Agnihotra, I'm making sure I do that. And then it got to the practice where it would be like, I mean, sometimes Hops could probably attest to it. Like, cats call me, I might be asleep. I might even sleep for like 6 hours. There have been times I've done Agnihotra and it knocked me out so good. I woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning. It's almost time for me to go back to work.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
because it put me in such a relaxed state.
Yeah. Like a Zen space. And I'm looking here, it's talking about the benefits, like it's those medicinal qualities that you spoke about earlier, positive effects on kids, on brain and nervous systems, a concrete solution to air pollution. And how often do we hear talk of that? Air pollution, talking about, global warming and all of these kind of things. There are so many benefits to this particular practice that I would recommend to anyone, if they really want to give back to the environment, this might be a great way to consider doing it. But
Yeah,
it's
this is a practical way for you to actually
very,
do something about then
yeah.
your environment. Like it's it's a proactive way to do something about your environment around you.
Well, I am definitely, you've sold me on it. Okay. And I know I'm okay. And so we all know I'm not a morning person. Okay. Let me just go ahead and issue that disclaimer. We know that. But for the evenings, I could see me actually, you know, um,
Yeah.
attending.
Yeah, that's just the way you start. Like,
Yeah.
because once you do the evening and you do it consistently and you see you have an experience with it,
Mm-hmm.
there'll be a day like, oh, I'm up. And you're like, oh, it's
Yeah.
before sunrise. Let me go ahead and do this real quick.
Yes.
And
Yes, we got a Trellin is Neville is here saying same here. So we you may have some students that may want to reach out. Would you be open to that if people wanted to know
that's
more?
fine if you know what I'm saying, like because that's how like the brother Note Roller Nash who showed me, he would show people up in Atlanta. He would, they would get together and they would show people. Sometimes they meet in the park and things of that nature, or meet at somebody's house, or that kind of. It's because it's very short. It's to the point, and you have your experience, and it's like how you feel. It make you dictate. Okay, this is something I think I want to do, even if it's like I'm not consistent right now. Down the line, if it helps you in some kind of way, you'll do it.
Right, exactly. Well, for those of you who are interested, you can find Rashaan, and he goes by Rashaan Bey, Bey, on Instagram, as well as Facebook. I don't know. Are you on any other platforms like X or TikTok?
I'm on X, but it's mostly I'm on Facebook as Rashaan, as my name Rashaan Bolden, or on Instagram as Rashaan Bey.
Okay. So you guys can find him there. Guess send him a message, send a friend request, if you have any questions. But thank you so much for
Thank you
coming
for having me.
to us about this. This has been amazing. I have learned so much tonight. I'm a teacher, but I'm also a lifelong learner and student.
We all
So
students.
I will be reaching out to you soon to get my crash course in
Oh
Agnihotra.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So thank you so much. And to our viewers, thank you for hanging in there with us tonight. I want to wish everyone happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving, Turkey Day. Don't eat too much, but relax, enjoy family, and be well. This has been What Woke Looks Like, hashtag What Woke Looks Like, with your host, Yolanda, Yo the Spiritualist Hops, and our special guest, Rashaan Bolden. Wish everyone a good and blessed evening. Good night.
Good night, y'all.